On the sawmill right now is the longest log I have yet milled. I haven't milled it yet. It will be the longest log I've milled. It's 18 feet long, give or take. And it's about the longest log that can fit on this mill without any kind of, and be milled without having to slide it one way or the other, or some other shenanigans to be able to mill longer logs. We will need to do something when we're cutting the frame for our house, because we will need 25-foot timbers for the top plates. So we're gonna have to figure out something before then. But right now, this 18-foot log is on the sawmill. Behind it is this beam, which I milled yesterday. That is going to be a top plate for the shed. We're cutting the shed. We're going to build the shed first, really just basically to practice timber framing before we start cutting the frame for our house. So we're going to do the shed first. And this beam here is 16 feet, a little over 16. It's 17 feet long. The shed is going to be 16 feet long. So that is a top plate for the shed. This log here was a tree that was standing up by the end of our driveway, but had started leaning over. It had started to tip over. Its roots were, pulling out of the ground. And in the snowstorm that we had here snow rainstorm we had here in New England last week, the tree came down right across the driveway. So when I got on site here yesterday, the first thing I needed to do was get the chainsaw and cut up the log and drag this log down here. Now, the log that I cut is actually much longer. So this is 18 feet. Over here is the other, and the other half of the log that I cut. And there's another, 15 feet or something there. This log here is big enough that I should be able to get a timber of some sort out of it once I've got it squared off. It may end up just being long. I'm not sure. This here may just be a few 2x4s or a few 1x boards for siding or something. This is a spruce tree. It's not the best wood for timber framing, but it's fine. Mostly I prefer to be working with white pine, eastern white pine. But what we mostly have on site here, the tree, if I'm going to be cutting down trees, there's a lot of spruce here. So there's going to be a lot of spruce in the shed, and there's going to be a lot of spruce in the house. So I'm going to start milling this now. And so that log has been turned into these 4 18-foot long, roughly 2x8, 2x7s. The middle two are, these two here, are pretty square. They have no wane on them. The first one I cut has some wane. That's the bark section that you can see everywhere. And the last one is actually a little less than 2 inches and is not really a good 2x8. But there's several feet at each end that might be useful for something, or it'll get cut into firewood or something. But anyway, that's what came of that log. was all of this beautiful lumber. These are 18 feet long, so they will probably end up being cut in half and used for, meaning they'll be cut 9 feet long and used for wall framing for the shed or something like that. So one tree down, many more to go.